welcome to part 8 of the You Can Be Anything podcast skills series. I am your host Solange and thank you for joining me. Last week we talked about intelligence and how intelligent you are should not determine whether you want to choose to learn a new skill, but the practice and the experience you build on this journey being the most important things to dwell on. Today, I'll be talking about our background education, whether or not our background education should determine whether or not we should upskill or reskill. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll find some value in this. When we talk about background education, most of the times I know when I'm addressing you, I know that most of you listening to me are adults. Most of you have a degree or some level of education or diploma, and you're probably trying or you're probably on that journey of wanting to learn something new. And that is why I've come up with this. I come up to explain some of these things. Most of the times, these are questions that people pose, right? People ask me, like, hey, Solange, I have a degree in banking and finance, in economics, I have a degree in management, in geology, I have a degree in history, in English language. Is it possible that with a kind of a degree, I can actually learn a new skill and still be successful at it? I have those questions coming in. People ask me, hey, I have a degree in arts. I have a degree, but I want to become a nurse. Hey, I have a degree in economics, but I'm interested in the tech world. And so today I'm here to address that. And first things first, I just want you to know that yes, you can become anything you want to become. You can actually learn any skill you want to learn, let me put it that way, without necessarily having a background in that particular skill, having an educational background in that particular skill. The other way around, your educational background does not really matter when you are learning a new skill. That is my answer to that question. And because I like to say this, I like to respond to some of these questions and come up with this podcast series and talk about the things that relate to me. Because again, remember, the goal here is to use my experience, my stories to inspire you. Right? I know I have the tendency to say, hey, if Solange can do it, you can do it. So some people don't like that. But the reason I say that is because I want you to understand that there is a possibility. There is way more possibilities out there than we think of. So yes, let me talk again about my experience. As you all know, I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in linguistics. My educational background is in academia. Today I'm in the tech world. So my educational background is in linguistics specifically. Today I'm in the tech world and specifically Salesforce. Before finally determining and saying that, hey, it is Salesforce I want to study, I went through some difficult decisions, right? And it still boils down to that fact that, hey, sometimes in life when we fail, we want to fail forward. Not even sometimes. Whenever we fail, you fail at something in life, look at it as a step forward. And why do I say this? When I decided to transition from academia, from linguistics into the tech world, I tried different things. I started off by learning Oracle DBA, Oracle Database Administration. It did not click. I switched on and I did some nursing. I went into the nursing field. I worked as a nurse assistant. And again, in the course of doing that, I was hoping that if I find that click, that I might go to nursing school. But truth be told, it did not click. From there, I went on and I did Scrum Master. Scrum Master is in demand. It is a good skill. But it still did not click with me. I got a certification and all of these things that I'm talking about. Then I found Salesforce. I started learning Salesforce again on Trailhead. If you've listened to me before, you've heard me talk about Trailhead, the free learning platform for Salesforce. And I fell in love with this thing. I realized that I could stay on my computer for hours on Trailhead because every step of the way I wanted to go forward. I was intrigued by everything that I was learning. I am not saying that it was easy. It had its own challenges. Today, I am still learning Salesforce as I'm on this journey. It has its challenges, but these are challenges that do not make me want to quit. They're challenges that make me want to find answers and move forward. And why is all of this happening? It is because I love what I am doing. Does the fact that my background is in linguistics matter here? No, it doesn't matter. So to you who is thinking, who is asking that question, hey, my background is in social sciences or maybe management, banking and finance, journalism, is it possible for me to become a nurse? Is it possible for me to become a therapist or become a coach? Yes, it is possible. What is important today is what you want for you. What is important today is that skill that you know you love to do that will give you the money and the satisfaction that you want. As I always say, it is important that when you come to this point in life, when you want to determine, like, hey, I'm an adult already, I am at this stage in life. What do I want to do in myself? It is very important that you pick something that you love to do, so that for the rest of your working age, right, you'll be able to do it with love. Man, come on, we don't have so much left until 65 clocks. So you want to make sure that for the rest of the years you have, that you'll be able to work or maybe even own a business, whatever it is you want to do with the skill you're learning. You love it. It is important that you love it. So I do not want you to make that decision based on what you studied back in school. In some cases, right, let's flip things around. In some cases, what you studied in school could be a good guide, right? It could be a stepping stone as to what you want to upskill or reskill in. That is also very possible. I am not taking that away, but I do not want you to look at that as a limitation. You might have a degree in something that you, in a course, for example, for example, computer sciences, right? You might have a bachelor's degree in computer sciences. That is that is like an umbrella term. The fact that you have a degree in computer sciences doesn't automatically qualify you to be great at all the tech skills. No, it doesn't. But can that help you determine the thing that you want to do? Yes. When you come into today, the workforce is very, very much skill-based. If you have a degree in computer sciences, that is not a guarantee that you will get a job in the tech world. You got to know a skill, be it DevOps, be it AWS Cloud, be it Salesforce, be it some level of Java or Apex or coding in general. You need to be able to specialize. You need a skill. So will that bachelor's degree help you? Yes, it could, because yes, you have that general idea, you have that general knowledge, but it's time for you to switch and pick a particular skill and hone on it. So that is my point. There are people, again, who are in this tech world, who are in the medicine world, who had no background in computer sciences or whatever, right? But they are doing great. So again, at this level in life, when we start basing what we want to do on skill-based education, I just want you to know that your educational background is not a prerequisite. I keep saying this again and again because I know that there's a ton of us who went to university, who studied courses, not because it was what we wanted to do, but because those were the only courses that were available. We were admitted into courses not because we wanted to study those things, but because the university just felt that they wanted to put us there. And again, what do? We just went ahead and studied. In some cases, we studied those courses because our parents wanted us to study, but not because we wanted it. So that is why some people change career. That's why some people transition. I just want you to make sure that as you're transitioning into learning that new thing that you love to do, you should make sure you pick the right thing. And what is the right thing? The right thing is that skill that makes you happy and that skill that is in demand. that skill with which you're going to find a job, or that skill that is good enough for you to start a business. So I want you to take away all that cloud that is in your mind about your background. Your background, your educational background, has given you the general knowledge to be able to learn, to be able to determine the kind of learner that you are, to be able to determine what learning is. But at this point in time, it is time for you not just to learn because you have to learn as we did when we did the bachelor's, but to learn because you're targeting something, learning with an intention. And that is how I personally look at it. Sometimes when people ask me about studying in Cameroon and what I think about it, I always say that when I studied in Cameroon, I felt like it was more of memorization, right? And this is my opinion, okay? This is Solange's opinion. You must not buy it, but this is what I think. I always say I felt like studying in Cameroon, I was being trained to memorize, maybe to pass on exams. After leaving Cameroon, having studied in the US and in Germany, I see that I am being taught when I learn, I am learning to apply. So to me, that is a very big difference. I'm no longer studying to memorize to pass on exams. This time around, I am studying to apply knowledge. And that is why it intrigues me more. That is why I feel more challenged. And by feeling challenged and trying to troubleshoot, it just makes me want to go on and on. So I want to encourage you today that if you're still struggling to make that decision on what to study, on what new skill to learn that is in demand, please do not make that decision based on your educational background. If you're one of those lucky people whose educational background is related to what they really love to do, go ahead and do it. Pick a skill that is related to the educational background and study it, hone on it, build on it. But if yours are two separate paths, your educational background has done its work. It has taught you all the values. It has probably taught you how to read, how to do research and stuff like that. But it's time for you to cut off that and pick that skill that you love to do and learn it from scratch. Yes, it is possible. So I hope that this makes sense to you. I hope that this supports you and guides you as you make this decision to learn something new. And again, remember, I come here to talk about things that I have learned on my own journey, and as I continue learning, I'm willing to share my stories with you. These are real life stories. This is my journey. It is ongoing, but I've decided to share it as we go along. And so if you have any questions, or if you have any doubts, or if you have any, just let me know. Talk to me. Respond to this recording and let's talk. Reach out to me. I'm open to having a discussion because we are all on a learning process. So I hope that you find value in this, and remember, be good to each other. Join me next week at 9 of the podcast skill series as we discuss further. Thanks again for your time, and bye-bye.